Right. So we're back. Premier League action once again after that absolute abysmal embarrassment of a performance against Coventry City, and somehow finding our way into the final after bottling a 3-0 lead against a championship outfit. Yeah, well, this time around, we're playing against a Premier League outfit, which is technically speaking still championship quality, but nonetheless, it's still an opponent that will probably turn up and play the best they've played all season, cause us all sorts of problems, and then send us down into depths of despair just to queue up Burnley, which will be then the following weekend, and then we'll have Crystal Palace away after that. Now, Burnley Crystal Palace after this game, um, in respects to the next three fixtures, as the title of the stream suggests, no less than 9 points from next three. And that's kind of where my head's at the moment in terms of where we need to go with our Premier League campaign for our points accumulation, points finish, and all. We desperately, and I mean desperately, need to be picking up 3 points. This stream is really, really laggy for some reason. I don't know why. But nonetheless. But we're back doing a live stream. I've not done a live stream for quite a while. No idea why, to be honest. I've just sort of fancy doing videos. I suppose it's sort of trying to figure out some sort of a balance between the format of content. Usually, I would want to do live streams for things like previews and match reactions per se, just to gauge live reaction and to gauge community thought and opinions. Whereas then other, shorter bite-sized video content for just other talking points, such as you transfer videos and subjects like that, and then the occasional, maybe an occasional sort of weekly guaranteed show or stream, something where everybody can sort of come in as a community and we just basically cover everything from the week's happenings in the world of football, world of Man United, the world of football. Currently, speaking in the world of football, there is currently Arsenal and Chelsea in the Premier League tonight. Interesting game. Cole Palmer's out with an illness. Sorry. So in terms of that game, by the looks of it, Agent Chelsea or Agent Arsenal's gone and poisoned Chelsea's camp with something. Because the carry of that team is now missing for quite a big fixture. And speaking of key feature missing from that team, they're already 1-0 down. It's only 4 minutes in. Only 4 minutes in, already a goal down to Arsenal. So, yeah, it's long. It's long. And to be fair, Mikel Arteta has put out probably Arsenal's best strength team. Probably this year. He's actually thought, what would be a really good idea is now I'll use Partey in that midfield with Odegaard and Rice. Now I'll actually stick through a really strong, competent midfield that can press any team to have to go up levels. So, yeah, they're doing their business. Tomorrow night, we've got to do our business. Now, Sheffield United, away from home, we won there 2-1. And I think it was the first half was beyond abysmal. It was. I remember seeing it, just the way in which we were so shaky to starting off that game, the first half, just giving up so much, and Sheffield like they were the team in control, and cue the switch over to the second half, found a bit of momentum. The subs had a bit of impact, got a couple of goals in a passage of play that, to be fair, we could have ended up with 3 or 4 just in that sole passage of play alone. And probably at the end of it all, 2-1 was a justified scoreline. So I think it's apparent that even though for many, many other teams in this league, Sheffield United is quite possibly one of the easier teams to play against and to get a result against. Manchester United have not been able to have that luxury. We can't have a luxury like that because we've shown it with games like Coventry, that no matter how low down or far down the footballing pyramid a team is, they our shortcomings will prove a very, very viable, vast opening for the opposition to get a foothold in the game, present them with the opportunities that barely any teams on the planet would squander. And ultimately, if we do win a game, it's never done cleanly, convincingly, or showing any real intent. Like, what can we expect from Manchester United? If you send a message in the first game, surely it's the sign of things to come. Surely it's meant to give you the forecast for the next game, and then the next game, and then the next game. That's not been the case. Literally, we go from one game Man United could put in a fairly decent performance to the next game, oh my God, what is this team? To the next game, I've no confidence in this team whatsoever. We're going to get battered. They turn up again, and they set the world alight. And it's inconsistencies like this that it really, really, really frustrating to me. Really, really frustrating. And I know that there's plenty other supporters in the fan base that feel likewise, that they do feel likewise. And there's a big split with the fan base, sort of torn between how far do we go with this manager, torn between players. Oh, do we these players, you get rid of these players? No, the players aren't the problem, it's always the managers. And we go back and forth, and it's one of those things. It's like storylines in a professional wrestling company. It's like it's so cliche and so repetitive, but there's nothing unique about it. It's just the same old. But the only thing that really changes nowadays is just whether that the name of the manager that we're talking about becomes a different name. And we talk of Thomas Tuchel. For me, I'm very, very similar camp with Roberto De Zerbi, to be quite frankly honest. I sort of rate them similar levels. There's some good things we've seen from Thomas Tuchel. There's some not so good things we've seen from Thomas Tuchel. We've seen currently with his Bayern stint, he replaced Julian Nagelsmann due to interior motives. That decision has not gone down well. It's not gone down well, and from as evidence would suggest, the results based off of that decision we've seen a slip, we've seen a degradation, we've seen a Bayern team that's so mentally attuned to winning the Bundesliga and challenging for the Pokal, year in year out, go really, really deep into Champions Leagues. And Thomas Tuchel's Bayern's, it's seen a slip. So, and there's baggage. I find I do believe that there is baggage with the Thomas Tuchel, which is to me why I'm, would it be a good appointment? I wouldn't be overly convinced, to be honest. I wouldn't be overly convinced with Thomas Tuchel. I think that there are better options. I think Amarin's a better option. I think Nagelsmann's by far the better option. Hansi Flick would be a better option. To be honest, I think potentially, to various extents, De Zerbi would be a better option. Still better option. Tuchel would be a better option, in my opinion, to Graham Potter, or by far a better appointment than Gareth Southgate. But I'm sure everybody's in the same camp with that. But each to their own. My feelings on it is that I'm not overly hyped with the prospect of being managed by Thomas Tuchel, because I think for me it's a project. He comes in, he just becomes another face in the crowd. I don't think he does anything, anything all that special, and it would be a shame. It would be a shame, because I think Thomas Tuchel, there would be some potential to being a good appointment. Um, but it's just in terms of the looking at the structure that Ineos wants to implement. It doesn't look like there's a huge amount of managers out there that would be, at a high enough level that would be suitable enough to fit the image, or to fit the bill to what Ineos have so apparently claimed to be wanting with their projects. They want to implement a philosophy about attacking style of play, exciting football, things that, a style that gets fans engaged. But we're not seeing that. We're not seeing that at all. If we are bringing Thomas Tuchel in, with the comments about supposedly, allegedly, what Ineos have gone on to talk about, is that the reason that we've opted to go against the idea of taking Nagelsmann's, because it would mean we'd have to, do a lot of, we'd have to spend a lot of money. We'd have to completely pick apart a team and string one together, more so in a manager's image, rather than it being a case of Ineos dictating who gets bought and who gets sold. So, and I think, unfortunately, Thomas Tuchel had falling outs with the Chelsea board when they had the same complex idea in mind, where they would do all the buying and selling. It wasn't about what Thomas Tuchel thought, and that was very evident, very apparent, very quickly. So he ended up getting the sack. He got the boot. He was out the door very, very quick. So, that's where I'm at with Thomas Tuchel. Don't know what everybody else thinks. Do be sure to pop it in the comment section below if you do watch on playback, or drop something in the chat section just over there. But as for this game that we've got tomorrow night, 8 o'clock kickoff, along with 3 other games happening tomorrow as well. So we've got Wolves versus Bournemouth, Palace versus Newcastle, Everton versus Liverpool, and then, of course, United versus Sheffield United. How do I think this game is going to go? Well, I think we've seen off the back of the Coventry result that we can square one. Don't know what's gone on with that, but if we start from clean slate, that's kind of bugged, but we should be back now. Starting from 0-0, starting from scratch, Manchester United, if the opposition is not high level quality, we can put ourselves into quite a favourable position, right? Goal leads, 1-0, 2-0, 3-0 goal leads. It's about the game management, and it's an attribute of this team that analysts have picked up on very frequently. Fans have picked up on it, looking back at things and assessing this game, assessing our game, is that it's not just in the case between first half to second half, but rather within the halves themselves. That inconsistency is so prevalent that we go from a team that's in control, that's steady, that's got a game plan to it, that kind of knows what it's doing, to within that same half, everything's flipped on its head. No one's talking to each other. No one's actually communicating to the manager, and no one's listening to the manager. No one's doing anything. The effort levels per various individuals also drops. The concentration levels drop as well. And just all round, it's just a big, clumsy collusion of messy loser mentalities that don't actually have the urgency about them to dictate the tempo of the game, the happenings of a game. Being there in the moments when they are needed the most, they disappear. And that's worrying. That is worrying because it brings into question that absolutely any team, any opponent is a viable opposition to Manchester United. They deliver a decent enough test, because no matter what, it's not like how Manchester City can take a game and control it from start to finish. It's not like a game at Arsenal. Arsenal in the latter weeks have shown a little bit of complacency here and there, where their consistency within games has dropped a bit, and when the consistency drops and the game plan sort of goes out the window, the discipline goes out the window a little bit, the opposition get the invitation, and that's where you get these swings and roundabouts. That's where the momentum will sway, and your routine 2-0, 3-0 scoreline, get out of here with that. It becomes 3-2, 3-3. In some instances, it becomes 4-3 until VAR, of course, rules it out. But that's neither here nor there. For me, Manchester United, the task at hand is set out very, very clearly, distinctively. There's 3 winnable games, and these 3 winnable games starts tomorrow night. Listen, Newcastle are ahead of us at the moment with the same amount of games played. They've come from mid-season turmoil with injury crises. They've rode out the tough period, and now they're putting together a charge. They're seeing out the rest of the season. And the problem is we've slipped into that now. We have slipped into it. 6th and 5th place, thanks to the shortcomings of English clubs in European competitions this season. Aston Villa are the only club that's actually from this country still in a European competition this season, and they could have gone out to Lille. Hopefully, on the sake of the country's, legitimacy in European competitions, that Aston Villa can go all the way and do what West Ham did. But Manchester United, like teams outside of all European competitions, are within 3 points of us. 3 points all within. That's extremely problematic. Chelsea, who are currently losing at the moment, playing Arsenal tonight, will be on the same amount of games played. If they lose, they stay on 47 points. That's 3 points off of us. 3 points off of Manchester United. That's massively problematic. West Ham, 2 points off of us. They've lost their last 2 games with conviction. There's unrest in that camp, but still, that can turn around very, very quickly. Brighton on 44 points. That's a little bit less likely. But if we can't pick up 9 points over these next 3 games, guess what? Brighton will have us, because we still yet to play them. So they can get a 3 points jump on us. We've got to seriously watch out for that rearview mirror, man. Newcastle are already parked in front of us. They've already taken Europa League spot. Seventh place is to get in the competition that Aston Villa are in. That's just to get European football. Next season, we might not have it. We might not have seventh. We might not have eighth. We could be ninth. We could even be 10th. It can go that badly, that quickly. Not even kidding. Not even kidding. That's real. That's absolutely real. Very, very quickly. From sat comfortably in sixth place, chasing down Champions League positions. Well, guess what? Aston Villa, 16 points ahead of us now. 16. We win our 2 games in hand. Guess what? Still 10 points behind them. That's not enough, is it? It isn't enough. Tottenham, same amount of games played, 10 points ahead of us. Newcastle, I'm sure, may end up building a gap as well. Chelsea, dependent on the games that they've got left to play. They've got Aston Villa away. Then they've got Tottenham at home. Then they've got West Ham at home. Then they've got Forest away, Brighton away, and then Bournemouth at home. So they've got some tough fixtures. They do have some tough fixtures. So here's to hoping that Chelsea can't, have some form of turnaround and accumulate enough points to overtake us at the very end of the season. West Ham, I think West Ham have got some tougher fixtures as well. Yeah, so you've got Liverpool at home, Chelsea away, Luton at home, and then Man City away. So here's to hoping they don't make some sort of miraculous comeback in the points tally. I think Brighton's probably the team that we'll probably have to look out for most here. If I find that's disappeared. So yeah, Brighton versus Man City at home, Bournemouth away, Aston Villa at home, Newcastle away, Chelsea at home, and then us at home. So yeah, they've got some tough fixtures as well. But we've got 3 winnable fixtures. Very winnable fixtures. And with what we need to do, with the task that we got to do, 9 points from these next 3, because it's quite possible that we just don't win the last 3 games, because past Sheffield United tomorrow, Burnley after that, also at home, and then Palace away. We've then got Arsenal at home. I'm sure they'll come to Old Trafford and play us off the park. Then got Newcastle at home. And then we finish the season with Brighton away. So if we don't get 9 points from the next 3, how the hell are we supposed to go through the final 3 games to cement any prevalent position into Europa League? How are we going to do it? How on earth are we going to manage it? At least we still got a cup final to get ourselves off to come the end of the season. So that's something. That's a little something, a little bit of something. So yeah, we'll just have to see in those regards. But as for the team, given the circumstances with injuries at the moment, with how things are, I don't think there's going to be much in the way of changes. The players that don't deserve to play, we already know, are undroppable. Rashford is he's got impunities. Man's got impunities. He cannot be dropped. Cannot be dropped. It's like he got his starting position. Ten Hag turned into Medusa and turned him into stone. And now nobody can move him. time to get the bulldozer out, I say. I think Garnacho is meant to serve discipline. It was meant to be discipline. That's not happened, so he probably gets into the team. But knowing how the last several games have gone, Garnacho gets subbed off. We tend to, crumble, bottle the game. So, with Garnacho's case, hopefully, I'm hoping that if we get him to start, that he's not somebody who ends up getting subbed off. Eric, if you want a bit of advice, sub off the other winger. Yeah, sub off the other winger. Not Garnacho. Garnacho's your best out of the two. Well, actually speaking, theoretically speaking, he is the best winger at the club at the moment. That's mental. That's mad talk. But it's true. It is true. Rashford, he's checked out of Manchester United. He needs to be sold or made a free agent, whichever is the quickest way to getting Rashford out of this club is the route that we should go down. We have to. There's no alternative. Anthony is pretty much just become a fidget spinner bum. There's nothing more or less that can be said about it. So, that it is what it is with Anthony. Overpaid. That's just its own issue. Like, forget tying how much we paid for Anthony, comparing it to the quality he's now. Even a good Anthony, even an Anthony that was putting in 7 out of 10s every week, even an Anthony that was beating oppositions and tying up fullbacks' legs, putting balls top bins every other week, or setting up solid assists. Even then, we've overpaid for Anthony. But you see the transfer fee, and immediately you're onto it. Just onto it. You say, yeah, that guy's a bum. Look at how much we paid for him. Look at what he's doing. He's absolute peasant of a player. But that's the harsh reality. Get run by doofuses. You're paid doofus money for doofus players. Yeah, it's just the way the cookie crumbles, I'm afraid. But Højlund up top, I think hopefully he can get some sort of goal scoring form. I think we know that there's going to be a lot of low blockage going on with the opposition. Well, then again, I say low blockage. There's probably going to be low block with Sheffield United. I think Company with Burnley just likes to play attacking football, so maybe we are afforded a lot more of the space against Burnley. And then there is Crystal Palace under Glasner, who, they looked lethal against West Ham. They looked really, really lethal. But if they come out to play, maybe it suits. Maybe it suits us because we don't know what we're doing. At any time when we play a low block, we just don't. We really, really don't. So, I mean, Sheffield United, we should expect to play a low block or to play against a low block. The team we have, the players that we have, are essentially attuned or accustomed to a low block system. Even then, they're not all that. With all things considered, they are not all that. They probably, even right now, this squad, these players probably could not execute the low block system. They probably couldn't. Sorry. They probably couldn't. I don't trust Rashford, Anthony, or anybody else at this point to deliver a low block system. I know we had Magaloff and McFred as our spine in a low block system, which even then it didn't do us any favors. But man, I just don't even know. But yeah, for me, no real changes to be expected. I wouldn't have thought against Coventry, even though technically on the basis that Ten Hag was pissed at the players for bottling a 3-0 lead. He'll still reward them with the start. He'll still give them match game time. He will. He will. He won't drop anybody. So same team. Match prediction. It's a low block. I'll go 2-1 United. Man United, that is. A low block team. I don't want to see us. To be quite frank, also, I don't really want to see Manchester United, run away with it in the first half, or like go 2-3-0 up, because I know what's on the horizon. I know that these players will drop off. They'll lose their heads. They'll grow inconsistent. They'll concede the first goal, and then all the heads drop. All of them drop, because that's what Man United do these days. We concede a goal. You're meant to be jumped up. You're meant to be like, well, screw that. We'll get one back. That's what's meant to happen. But actually, you concede a goal with Manchester United, and Manchester United actually relinquish further control of the game. And that's probably one of the worst habits that the players in this team actually have. Is you concede a goal, you're meant to relinquish a little bit of control from the game for a short section after scoring a goal, because the opposition are trying to get one back, try to catch you off guard, try to catch you by surprise. But with United, you concede the goal, and then United actually become even more passive. It's like reverse. It almost works as though it's like reverse psychology. It's so weird, and I don't know where it's come from. Like, to be so defeated after such a small inconvenience on the field. I mean, that's what it should be. Concede a goal, I'll shrug it off. It's a small inconvenience, guys. Let's push even harder now. That's what it's meant to be. That's how you're meant to tackle that situation, but evidently not. Evidently not whatsoever. So, listen, Sheffield United, can they get something against Man United tomorrow? Possibly. It's going to be difficult for them by all means. But, hey, we thought it would be something a little like this, where it's like, yeah, it's a winnable game, should be a 3-pointer. With Bournemouth when they came to Old Trafford, and we couldn't even get close to touching them. That was Bournemouth. Sheffield United, probably not so much that same story. But as far as a result goes, can they get 3 points at Old Trafford? Yeah. They absolutely for damn sure they can. But guys, let me know what you guys think about this game tomorrow. Are you confident? Are you nervous? Do we have any hope? Is this the start of a strong finish to a season? Will we rally the troops to get ourselves 6th place, because top 4/5 is out of reach? 10 points behind Spurs with the same amount of games played, 16 points behind Aston Villa. Top 4 and 5 is gone. Top 6, Newcastle currently sit in that position on goal difference. Can we do it? We've got 9 points worth of fixtures. It should be guaranteed 9 points. It's not every season or every day that a team can get this many fixtures against winnable opponents and play most of those easier games at home. It's not every day that a team gets to do that. So, will we maximize? Will we be the prophets of this? Will we see what we need to see? Will we get what we need to get? I don't fully believe in it. I don't trust these players enough. I don't trust these players. And to be quite frankly honest, as far as managing the games go, I don't really trust this manager enough to say that we will definitely be guaranteed 9 points in this game. Hey, the most difficult out of the three is probably between Sheffield United tomorrow against the low block, and then playing Glasnow's Palace at their ground the game after Burnley. So it poses its own challenges. It should be, in terms of what we need to achieve, it should be 9 points for the next three. But I don't think we're going to see. I don't think we're going to be as fortunate. But I think we should get 3 points tomorrow. It's not going to be pretty. I do believe it will probably end up as a 2-1 result for Manchester United. But at the end of the day, we'll look back on the game and say, well, 3 points are 3 points. That's what we came for. That's what we needed. So, yeah. Guys, let me know in the comment section if you guys agree with that. And, yeah, on top of that, we'll also wrap things up, and I'll let everybody get off to watching this Arsenal-Chelsea game. Still currently 1-0 at the moment, so a very, very early goal. Leandro Trossard, I swear, literally, I said start Trossard, and you'll probably do bits for Arsenal. And yeah, what's happened? They start Trossard. Trossard gets a goal. He's Arsenal's best attacker at the moment, hands down. Arsenal's best attacker, Leandro Trossard. But Mikel Arteta has actually fielded their strongest team, with the midfield stacked with Rice, Ødegaard, and Partey. So maybe Arteta's figuring it out in the running. Maybe they can snatch the Premier League title. You guys let me know what you think about everything there. But that's it from me for tonight. Of course, tomorrow we'll have the match reaction, probably after the next episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly show. That will be airing at 8:30 p.m. tomorrow night, featuring myself, Early Doors Football TV, and also Anthony Herbert. So that will probably go on for a couple of hours before then the match reaction will follow over there. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly show will feature, of course, on this channel. It always does. Yeah, so guys, do be sure to join us tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. For what should be an entertaining 2 hours of football talk, banter, and absolute anarchy. And it might be anarchy settings because I'll probably have the United game on in the background as well. So I'll be pulling all sorts of faces and expressions come tomorrow. Hopefully I spend most of it looking quite relaxed and happy and joyous rather than looking quite constipated and depressed and beaten up. So yeah, hopefully it's more positives to talk about with tomorrow's game than negatives. Anyways, guys, catch you all tomorrow. Thank you very much for those who have watched. If you were watching on playback, do be sure to smash the likes and also subscribe if you haven't done so already. Take care to everybody in the chat. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evenings, and yes, we'll see you again over here tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. Until then, take care, and we'll speak to you soon.